here at Instructor Baseball Camp?
It's been good. It's been good to get back out there and play some football. Got the pads on today, so felt good getting out there, getting a feel for it again, going out and competing.
A lot of the talk with Huff, you talk about the depth at the group. How have you noticed that, and how much of a benefit will that be?
It would be a big benefit because, I mean, you don't want it to happen, but injuries do happen. And so we have a bunch of guys that are playing different positions and they can do it all. So it's been nice having a lot of depth.
Have you been mainly working at one spot, or have you been moving around a little bit?
I've been mostly at one spot at left guard.
At left guard?
Yeah.
How helpful is it? A lot of the same faces have been with you for 2 or 3 seasons. How helpful is that? What do you know when you work with some people a lot?
I mean, it's very helpful. You get a feel for how they play, you know, and you get comfortable with each other. But we've been rotating with a lot of people, so we get comfortable with a lot of different guys, and it's been nice having those different faces in there and having to compete with them.
Do you like having guys? You don't rotate much, but a lot of the guys do. And is that good, or would you like to kind of see it set where you guys know more, you know, whatever spot everybody has?
I mean, it's good to have rotations in there and stuff because, you know, injuries do happen, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's good to have those guys in there so you have a feel for at least a couple guys instead of just one guy.
You have 2 guys right now in NFL training camps, and yet people see the line as like a strength this year. I mean, how do you guys kind of look at your group overall, even though you lost those 2 guys last year?
I mean, I feel like we're strong. We have a bunch of veterans on our line, and we've been practicing well together. We've been together for a long time, and we're meshing well. So that's what practice is all about, meshing, and we're doing that.
How are you guys to work with the youngsters a little bit? Because obviously, you know, Huff's kind of said it's kind of senior heavy on the line, and obviously, you know, once you guys are gone, you know, there's going to be that next crop. And how are you going to kind of work with them and kind of help them, you know, bring them along a little bit?
I mean, yeah, we sit back there. Coach is obviously coaching them too, but then when other guys are in and they're not coaching them, I mean, we give them pointers as well. So we're always constantly coaching them up and trying to make them better.
How do those guys look so far?
They look pretty good. Not gonna lie. Big guys.
Yeah, some of them look. I mean, they at least look like they're not necessarily freshmen.
I mean, they're freshmen, but they're gonna be good. You can tell. They're gonna be some solid players.
Well, how's Mason looking at center? And obviously last year in fall camp, he got good reviews filling in when Marcus was hurt. But how's he kind of look stepping in there so
He looks good. I mean, he's gotten a lot more confident through spring ball, and I could definitely see it as a playing next to him that he's a lot more confident, and that's what you like to see out of your center. So I think it's been going well for him.
Seems like a guy maybe fans don't know much about because he hasn't played much, but inside the program here, it seems like you guys are all very high on him.
Yeah, because I mean, he was all through fall camp last year. He was in there when Marcus was hurt, and then through this whole spring, he was in there. So we've got comfortable with him. He's come a long way. He's doing well.
How do you think he's improved the most?
Just being more confident with his calls and stuff. You can tell he's a lot more vocal. Like he knows what he's doing. You can tell.
Tough spot for a center like him too, because 3 of the other guys have played together for 3 years. Now he comes in and he's supposed to kind of lead you guys.
I mean, it's just how the center position works. They make all the calls, but I mean, we're here to back him up as well. If we see something, it's not just on him. We make the calls as well, so it's on all of us. But he's leading us, and we let him do that, and he's done a good job so far.
What about Will Adams at left tackle? What have you seen out of Will?
He's learning the offense, and he's come a long way too. I mean, coming in not knowing anything from the offense, but he's learning it, and he's done a good job filling in. Especially when guys have been hurt too. He's stepped in and he's done his job, and you know, no more you could ask, but he's done well.
Have you seen Archie grow in the offseason?
He's a hard worker. I mean, he was hurt, but you could tell he's a hard worker, and he does everything to get back on the field. So you could just tell like he's gonna be good.
You've obviously gone against Elliott probably a lot in practice. What stands out about him? And he's a guy who's been around here. You know, in Caldwell's has been in a lot of cleanup roles, and now he's going to be stepping into a much bigger role this year.
Yeah.
What have you seen out of him?
I mean, he comes out the ball hard. I go against him every day, so we have some good battles, and I think he'll be good. He always comes out the ball hard, and he gives me a good challenge, so it's good.
Do you feel like he's the kind of guy who can, you know, kind of step into a much bigger role this year and be a contributor?
I definitely do. I think he will, and he'll lead some of those young guys on the D line. That's what they need, and I think he'll do a good job with that.
He's played some. Where do you see him as being better this year?
On the defensive line, I mean, he's got a lot better. I can tell from practice and stuff. He's giving me a hard time, and that's what I want. Is it makes me better. So He's done well in the past games, and then working new moves in the run game. He's a stout guy, so it's been nice putting him in.
What's it like, just as a person around here? It seems like you got a lot of people get along with, and
Yeah.
he's a big barbecuer. I think. I mean, he
Yeah.
seems like he's a guy that a lot of people kind of rally around.
Elliot?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's one of the seniors, so I mean, he's a likable guy. His accents, everybody likes it. I make fun of him sometimes, but
Does it make him easier to get along with because of that? It seems like it's a little more welcoming than some of the other.
yeah,
guys.
yeah. I mean, when you hear him talk, you're like, whoa, like who's that? And then you go and talk to him. He's a cool guy. And he works hard, so and it's nice to be around him.
We talk about that experience that you guys bring back on the offensive line. What does it do for you guys? I mean, in terms of timing and communication and all that.
I mean, when you have that experience, you're able to make more calls and all be on the same page. When we're all on the same page, we may be wrong, but if we're on the same page, we still could be right. So when we're having the good communication and we know what's going on, then we'll still be good.
Does it help with maybe a little bit of that intuition too of where a guy might be and what he's thinking?
You have a feel for you've seen it before with experience, and then you have a feeling like where it might come, and then you make the calls and you adjust.
Well, last year it seemed like every practice we come to, you guys would be shuffling around on the offensive line, and I don't know, only a couple days in, but it seems like it's a little more steady this time around. Is there a difference there between?
I didn't hear the first part.
It seemed like last year you guys were like all moving around quite a bit on the
Yeah.
offensive line, and this year it seems like you're a little bit more steady in terms of where you've been at practice. Is that something different this year?
I mean, we're still moving around some. There's still guys bumping from right side to left side, tackle to guard, guard to tackle. So, I mean, we're just got to be well-rounded offensive linemen and be able to play them all. So, I mean, I definitely seen like, well, no, not really. We've all still moving around, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's good to be well-rounded in those different positions.
When you look back at last year as a group, what do you think you guys want to be better at the most? Is there an area that you guys thought that, looking back, that what we really would like to be better here?
I mean, as an offensive line, we always want to be physical. So that's that's like our first key point to being better. Like, we always want to be more physical than the last play, than the last year. So that's one thing we're working at as an offensive line and as an offense. We want to be more physical.
So how do you get more physical?
It's just practice. You got to practice hard, give it your all, and it'll come.
You mentioned physical, and physicality has been brought up quite a bit over the last couple of days from several of the players and coaches. How much is that being stressed right now?
I mean, that's our goal as an offense. So that's stressed a lot. We want to be more physical. We want to get after the defense. So that's the number one priority right now, be more physical on the offense.
When Mario Yaku's name comes up, what's the first thing you think of?
Big boy, he's huge. That guy, he's strong as heck. Like he's a force to be reckoned with. He's a big guy. If he gets his hands on you, I mean, it's hard to get off because he's so big and it's hard to get around him. So I mean, he's a great player.
We talk about that physicality that's being preached. I mean, it seems like it's just being more and more emphasized this year. Did you guys not feel like you
No, I mean, we have been emphasizing that, but just this year, it's just out there. Like last year's, as offensive line, that's our number. It's written all over our walls. Be physical, and I'm sure with other position groups they say the same thing. But this year, it's like that's our main focus, and we need to follow through on that.
Curious what you saw out of Jeremy McNichols last year as the season progressed, and he said that he felt like he kind of became a more efficient runner in terms of knowing blocking schemes and waiting for guys to get to the second level and stuff like that. Like what did you see out of him last year as the season went on?
I mean, that guy's relentless. He's a great player. He sees holes that I wouldn't be able to see, and he trusts that we're going to get our job done, and he fills that hole, and then he makes us look good. We're trying to obviously make the holes big for him, but he's finding holes that are small and making them big plays out of them, and he's a great back.
For a guy that was kind of a wide receiver, prior to last year, how much did he impress you in terms of being able to have 240 carries and show some physicality?
I mean, he definitely did impress me. I mean, he stepped up big time, and we needed him to, and then he's coming back this year, and I'm happy about that. And he's a dual threat. He can run the ball well, and he can catch the ball well. You give him some open space, and he'll do some damage. So it's nice having him back there.
On your offensive line, you got younger guys behind you, guys like Andres, Eric, John. What stand out to you among that younger group of guys?
I mean, they're all really doing a good job. All those, the redshirt freshman class, all three of them, John, Eric, and Larson, they're doing well. And these three new offensive linemen, they're going to be really good too. So I think those 6 guys, I mean, they're making a lot of progress. John's going to be really good too. So I mean, all those guys have been doing pretty well.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks, Travis.